Heel clicks on an empty floor tonight. I'm dancing with a shadow in the pale porch light. The furniture's been pushed against the wall. The vinyl's spinning something sad and small. The bass slides up to where your hand would rest. The guitar swells against my lonely chest. The upright plays a chord that sounds like "Hold me close," and the brush drum whispers what I miss the most. My heels click a rhythm you used to lead. The crackle on the record plants a lonely seed. Oh, heel clicks on an empty floor where we used to sway. I close my eyes and pretend you came to stay. Every step is a memory I can't unlearn. Every turn is a bridge that refuses to burn. So let my heels keep clicking till the needle lifts. One more slow dance for the empty space you left as a gift. The archtop strums a waltz that isn't quite right. I spin alone till I'm dizzy in the failing light. My shadow joins me for the final refrain. Heel clicks on empty floor, and I'll dance again. The arm lifts slow, my heels fall still. The empty floor and a windowsill. The bartender knows my name and my usual drink. He doesn't ask how I am, 'cause he's watched me sink. The same stool, the same crack in the leather top, the same slow jazz spinning till the jukebox drops. The bass walks slow, like a friend who knows the truth. The guitar swells like the ache inside my youth. The upright pads a chord that tastes like cheap red wine, and the brush drum hisses like I'm crossing a line. The bartender pours without looking at my face. The crackle on the vinyl fills the empty space. Oh, the bartender knows my name and the hurt I hide. He's seen me laugh, he's seen me swallow my every slow dance I've danced, alone in the back, every promise I broke, and every heart attack. So let him pour another while the vinyl spins. The bartender knows my name and where the pain begins. The archtop plays a chord that sounds like last call. I nod at the bartender against the wall. He wipes the counter and he turns the lights up slow. The needle finds the groove, but I'm not ready to go. The arm lifts up, the bartender sighs. I leave my usual tip and my usual lies. The coat hook without a coat by the front door. I still look at it twice like I did before, expecting your trench coat to be hanging there, the one with the torn lining and the missing hair. The bass bows low like a slow goodbye. The guitar swells but refuses to cry. The upright rolls a chord that sounds like waiting, and the brush drum hisses anticipating. I hang my own coat on the other side. The crackle on the record is a place I hide. Oh, the coat hook without a coat is a hook without a prayer. Every time I pass it, I pretend you're still there. I can almost see your scarf draped over the wood. I can almost feel the warmth where your collar stood. So let the hook stay empty on the wall by the light. The coat hook without a coat and a heart that still holds tight. The archtop whispers a note I can't place. The bass slides up to the empty space. I take your hook down from the wooden frame. The coat hook without a coat, and I whisper your name. The needle lifts, the hook is in my hand. I put it in a drawer where the memories land. The jukebox only plays the blues lingers tonight. Every song is about someone taking flight. I feed it nickels from a sweaty palm. The vinyl soothes me like a false alarm. The bass walks slow like a man with nowhere to go. The guitar swells from the speakers down below. The upright leans into a flattened third, and the brush drum drags like a half-heard word. I order whiskey even though I said I'd stop. The crackle on the record is the only thing that drops. Oh, the jukebox only plays the blues. Since you went away, every slow dance is a price I have to pay. I put in a dime for a song called Lonely. The vinyl spins and the room gets holy. So let the jukebox keep its blue regime. I'll sit here nursing the blues like a broken dream. The archtop cries a note that sounds like your name. The bartender asks if I'm still in the game. I shake my head and feed another dime. The jukebox only plays the blues every single time. The last song ends, the room is still. I walk to the door against my will. The window frost with your finger is still on the pane. A little heart you drew in the cold and the rain. It fades in the morning when the sun comes through. The window frost with your finger and a heart for two. The bass bows low like the wind outside. The guitar swells where the warmth used to hide. The upright plays a chord that sounds like stay, and the brush drum freezes at the break of day. I press my thumb against the fading heart. The crackle on the record is the cold tearing apart. Oh, the window frost with your finger is melting slow. Every droplet is a memory You drew that heart on the coldest night of spring, and I kissed the glass where your finger would cling. So let the frost melt into the morning air, the window frost, and the love I left there. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like warm. The bass slides slow through a frozen storm. The heart is gone when the sun climbs high, the window frost, just a tear and a sigh. The needle lifts, the window is clear. The frost is gone, but the heart is still here. The clock stopped at 2:17 the day you left. The hands are frozen like a promise unmet. The battery's dead, but I don't change the thing. Every time I look, the same moment stings. The bass holds a note that sounds like forever. The guitar swells, but the string will sever. The upright plays the same key twice, and the brush drum is colder than ice. I wind the clock, but it doesn't move. The crackle on the record is the only thing I approve. Oh, the clock stopped at 2:17 the minute you walked out. Every second since then is a season of drought. The hour hand points to the door you use. The minute hand points to the love I lose. So let the clock stay frozen on that numbered grief. 2:17 in the morning, and I don't want relief. The archtop strums a chord that time forgot. The bass slides slow to an empty spot. I wind the clock one more time for luck. The hands don't move, and my heart gets stuck. The needle lifts, the clock still says the same. 2:17 forever, and I still whisper your name. before the dawn breaks through. I'm sitting on the fire escape, thinking of you. The city's quiet, the birds aren't even awake. The vinyl's finished spinning, for goodness sake. The bass holds a note that sounds like forgiveness. The guitar doesn't play, there's too much bitterness. The upright strikes one key and lets it die. The brush drum doesn't move, I don't know why. I light the cigarette and watch the smoke climb slow. The crackle on the dead wax is all I have to show. Oh, the last cigarette before the morning light. A slow jazz ballad that gave up the fight. I danced alone till the needle reached the end, and the record played for a ghost and a friend. So let the smoke rise where the love used to be. The last cigarette before dawn, and I'm finally free. The archtop string goes out of tune on its own. I stub the cigarette out on a forgotten phone. The sun is coming up like a dirty goat. The last slow dance, and I'm finally cold. The dawn breaks red, the smoke disappears. I go back inside after all these years. The lipstick stain on your cigarette is the shape of my goodbye. A little crimson fingerprint against the nicotine sky. You took a long drag and you smiled at the waitress. The lipstick stain on your cigarette and the growing sadness. The bass lies low like the smoke in the air. The guitar swells like a love affair. The upright plays a chord that sounds like embers, and the brush drum taps slow November. I watch the ash fall onto the floor. crackle on the record is the knock on the door. Oh, the lipstick stain on your cigarette is all that's left of me. A trace of red on white, a lock without a key. You stubbed it out in the tray with a twist of your thumb. The lipstick stain on your cigarette and the love gone numb. So let the smoke curl up to the ceiling fan above. The lipstick stain on your cigarette and the ghost of love. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like burning. The bass slides low without any warning. I light another one just to leave my mark. The lipstick stain on your cigarette and the vanishing dark. The needle lifts, the tray is full of ash. The lipstick stain and the final flash. The slip of paper under the rug caught my eye today, a corner peeking out like a secret that wants to play. I lifted the wool and pulled it into the light. The slip of paper under the rug from another night. The bass walks slow like a curious cat. The guitar swells where the memory sat. The upright plays a chord that sounds like, what is this? And the brush drum taps a silent kiss. The paper is faded, the ink is almost gone. The crackle on the record is the carry on. Oh, the slip of paper under the rug is a grocery list for two. Milk, eggs, bread, and the brand of tea you used to chew. I must have dropped it the winter you were still around. The slip of paper under the rug on the cold, hard ground. So let the list stay faded and the items disappear. The slip of paper under the rug and the ghost of a year. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like ordinary. The bass slides low to the contrary. I fold the paper and put it in a book, the slip of paper under the rug, and a second look. The needle lifts, the rug goes back, the paper waits on a different track. The third glass is empty on the table for three. We haven't moved it since you set it down for me, but you never came back from the powder room that night. The third glass is empty and the room feels tight. The bass holds a note like a chair that won't fill. The guitar swells, but the room is too still. The upright plays a key that no one pressed, and the brush drum takes its silent rest. I pour a little wine into the empty glass. The crackle on the record watches it pass. Oh, the third glass is empty and the other two are full. One for me, one for the ghost who broke the rule. The third glass waits for the friend who ran away on a Tuesday night in the month of May. So let the wine sit in the third glass and turn to air the empty glass, and the love I left unfair. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like why. The bass slides low with a quiet sigh. I lift the third glass and a toast to the missing, the empty glass, and the night stopped listening. The needle lifts, I pour the wine down the sink. The third glass and the three-way link. The crack in the teacup runs from rim to base, a thin brown line across the porcelain face. I still pour my morning tea into the same old thing. The crack in the teacup and the song I sing. step. The guitar swells where the memory slept. The upright plays a chord that sounds like fragile, and the brush drum taps a slow agile. I trace the crack with my fingertip. The crackle on the record is the leak from my lip. Oh, the crack in the teacup holds the tea just fine, but every sip reminds me of the broken line between what we were and what we became. The crack in the teacup and the endless shame. So let the porcelain hold the stain of the brew, the crack in the teacup, and the love I outgrew. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like whole. The bass slides low to a different goal. I drink my tea and watch the crack grow deep. The crack in the teacup and the secrets I keep. The needle lifts, the cup goes in the sink. The crack is still there, like the missing link. The needle finds the final groove tonight. A slow goodbye we never proved was right. You left your scent on the empty chair, and the crackle hangs like whispered air. The bass bows low and holds the note, a broken thread beneath my coat. I trace the ring where your glass had been, then the piano fogs the glass again. The guitar swells and starts to weep, a promise that the groove can't keep. Oh, the last spins of the needle, they play for one instead of two. Every harmony is a little lethal when the melody belongs to you. So let the wax spin soft and slow till the arm lifts up and I let you go. The upright pad's a chord of blue, The crackle sings what I can't undo. Your ghost still sways across the floor, but the needle won't play you anymore. Just the hiss now, and the empty floor. The needle rests, I don't love you anymore. The parking spot you always took is empty now. A patch of oil and a forgotten vow. Anyone could park there, any car, any day. The parking spot you always took in a different way. The bass walks low to the curb outside. The guitar swells where you used to hide. The upright plays a chord that sounds like vacant, and the brush drum taps something fragrant. I walk past the spot every morning at 8. The crackle on the record says it's never too late. Oh, the parking spot you always took is just concrete now. No chalk outline, no sacred vow. A red car sits there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The parking spot you always took on ordinary days. So let the oil stain fade in the summer heat. The parking spot you always took, and the bitter defeat. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like move on. The bass slides low at the break of dawn. A stranger parks there and walks away. The parking spot you always took, and the price I pay. The needle lifts, the spot is still there. I look both ways and breathe the air. The sock under the radiator is navy blue. I found it last Tuesday. It belonged to you. How it got there, I'll never understand. The sock under the radiator from a single man. The bass walks low like a detective on the trail. The guitar swells with a funny little wail. The upright plays a chord that sounds like really? And the brush drum taps soft and steely. I pull the sock out with the fireplace too. The crackle on the record says, don't be cruel. Oh, the sock under the radiator waits for its mate. The other one is somewhere in a forgotten state. You left in a hurry on a snowy afternoon. The sock under the radiator and a lonely tune. So let the navy blue fade into the dust. The sock under the radiator and a love unjust. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like lost. The bass slides low at whatever cost. I wash the sock and put it in a drawer. The sock under the radiator and nothing more. The needle lifts, the sock sits alone next to the glove and the broken phone. The unpaid bar tab under my name is from a year ago. You said you'd get the next round, but you never did, you know. The bartender keeps a copy tucked under the old cash drawer. The unpaid bar tab and the ghost of one more. The bass walks low like a debt collector's knock. The guitar swells like a runaway clock. The upright plays a chord that sounds like pay up, and the brush drum taps the bitter cup. I add another whiskey to the growing list. The crackle on the record is the promise that you missed. Oh, the unpaid bar tab is for 2 bourbons and a beer. The night you swore you'd always stay, but then you disappeared. I could pay it off tomorrow, I've got the money in my purse. The unpaid bar tab, but clearing it would make it worse. So let the paper yellow underneath the tip jars wait. The unpaid bar tab and the love that came too late. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like settle. The bass slides low like a rusty kettle. I sign my name and leave a 20 on the brass. The unpaid bar tab and the ghosts that pass. The needle lifts, the bartender nods, the tab is paid, but the loss still harps. The bump in the carpet is right by the bedroom door. A little rise in the floorboards that wasn't there before. I think you dropped something heavy the night you packed in haste. The bump in the carpet and the wasted taste. The bass walks low like a floorboard creak. The guitar swells like a word I'll speak. The upright plays a chord that sounds like under, and the brush drum taps a little thunder. I press my foot on the bump and feel it give. The crackle on the record is the way to live. Oh, the bump in the carpet is a secret from the past, a little hidden something that was never meant to last. I could lift the rug and see what's underneath the pile. The bump in the carpet and the losing smile. So let the bump stay hidden under the wool and thread. The bump in the carpet and I go to bed. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like lifted. The bass slides low to the gifted. I leave the bump where it's always been. The bump in the carpet and the begin again. A needle lifts, the carpet lies flat, but I know the bump like I know the cat. The coffee stain on the contract is right above the line where you signed your name in black ink and I signed mine. The cup was shaken in your hand, you spilled a little drop. The coffee stain on the contract and the final stop. The bass walks low like a legal term. The guitar swells like a wriggling worm. The upright plays a chord that sounds like claws, and the brush drum taps a little pause. I trace the stain with my fingertip. The crackle on the record is the broken script. Oh, the coffee stain on the contract is a watermark of tears, a little brown ellipse that has survived the passing years. It sits above the signature like a halo on the dead. The coffee stain on the contract and the words unsaid. So let the paper yellow and the ink begin to fade. The coffee stain on the contract and the price I paid. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like violet. The bass slides low to the triolet. I fold the contract and put it in a drawer. The coffee stain on the contract and the nevermore. The needle lifts, the drawer is shut. The stain stays there like a walnut. The dent in the wall from your heel is at shoulder height. A little crater in the plaster from a long and bitter night. You lost your balance or you lost your mind. I never knew the dent in the wall from your heel and the what to do. The bass walks low like a heavy step. The guitar swells like a wish I kept. The upright plays a chord that sounds like impact, and the brush drum taps a little contract. I run my finger in the hollow of the dent. The crackle on the record is the where it went. Oh, the dent in the wall from your heel is a fossil of your fall. The day you said you'd had enough and took it out on the wall. Your heel connected with the plaster left a mark that's still there. The dent in the wall from your heel and the empty air. So let the spackle wait in the can upon the shelf. The dent in the wall from your heel and I lost myself. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like fillet. The bass slides low to the killet. I buy a tub of spackle, but I leave it on the floor. The dent in the wall from your heel and the evermore. The needle lifts, the dent stays deep. A little scar that the walls keep. empty hook in the hall is the shape of your coat. A little brass curve that I still notice when I float through the hallway in the morning, on my way to make the tea. The empty hook in the hall and the wait for me. The bass holds a note like an empty room. The guitar swells like coming soon. The upright plays a chord that sounds like missing, and the brush drum taps a little kissing. I hang my own coat on the hook sometimes. The crackle on the record is the changing lines. Oh, the empty hook in the hall is a silhouette of you. The weight of all the winters that your coat was hanging through. The way the sleeve would brush the wall, the way the color hung. The empty hook in the hall and the unsung. So let the brass hold the ghost of the scarf you left behind. The empty hook in the hall and the losing kind. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like hang it. The bass slides low to the bang it. I take my coat down and leave the hook alone. The empty hook in the hall and the empty tone. The needle lifts, the hook is still there. A little brass curve in the empty air. The grooves you wore down on that record are deep and wide and gray. A little canyon in the vinyl where the needle used to play. That one song that you played on loop the winter that we met. The grooves you wore down and the don't forget. The bass walks low like a skipping track. The guitar swells like a take me back. The upright plays a chord that sounds like stylus, and the brushed drum taps a little pilus. I put the needle in the worn out groove. The crackle on the record is the way you move. Oh, the grooves you wore down on that record are a map of your heart. A little spiraling scar from the you and me apart. You love that song so much you killed it, played it till it died. you wore down, and the tried and tried. So let the needle skip and jump along the damaged track. The grooves you wore down, and the never back. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like flip it. The bass slides low to the sink or ship it. I flip the record to the B-side now. The grooves you wore down, and the take a bow. The needle lifts, the record is worn. The grooves are deep, like a field of corn. The loose page in the recipe book is stained with butter and flour. A handwritten card for apple bread from the afternoon hour. Your mother's script, your father's note, in the margin where it reads, the loose page in the recipe book, and the little seeds. The bass walks low like a wooden spoon. The guitar swells like a coming soon. The upright plays a chord that sounds like oven, and the brush drum taps a little lovin'. I hold the page and smell the vanilla still. The crackle on the record is the over the hill. Oh, the loose page in the recipe book is falling from the spine. The apple bread you used to make was a yours and mine. I could bake it, but I won't, because the kitchen feels too bare. The loose page in the recipe book, and the empty chair. So let the page stay loose, and the stains turn brown. The loose page in the recipe book, and the downtown. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like bake it. The bass slides low to the make it. I close the book and put it on the rack. The loose page in the recipe book, and the never back. The needle lifts, the book stays closed. The page waits for the supposed to. The pin in the world map is stuck in Paris, France. A little red dot on the arrondissement of chance. You put it there the winter that we saved up all our bread. The pin in the world map, and the go ahead. The bass walks low, like a train to Calais. The guitar swells like a holiday. The upright plays a chord that sounds like travel, and the brush drum taps a little gravel. I trace the root with my finger on the paper. The crackle on the record is the later, see you later. Oh, the pin in the world map is a promise on the wall, a little red reminder of the trip that never saw. The Eiffel Tower the same, the bread, the wine, the cheese. The pin in the world map and the bend the knees. So let the paper yellow and the pin start to rust. The pin in the world map and the learn to trust. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like fly there. The bass slides low to the why there. I pull the pin and put it in a drawer. The pin in the world map and the evermore. The needle lifts, the map has a hole where the pin went in, like a little soul. The shadow of the curtain rod is a straight line on the wall. It doesn't bend, it doesn't break. It doesn't rise and fall. It sits there in the afternoon when the sun comes through the west. The shadow of the curtain rod and the quiet rest. The bass holds a note like a line of light. The guitar swells in the fading light. The upright plays a chord that sounds like shadow, and the brush drum taps a little meadow. I watch the shadow crawl across the room. The crackle on the record is the coming doom. Oh, the shadow of the curtain rod is the only thing that's straight. The shelves are crooked, the pictures tilt. The floors are full of fade. So let the shadows stretch and shrink with the arc of the sun, the shadow of the curtain rod, and the race I never won. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like Straighten. The bass slides low to the wait-in. I trace the shadow with my finger on the plaster, the shadow of the curtain rod, and the ever after. The needle lifts, the sun moves on, the shadow fades, but the rod is gone. The smudge on the bathroom mirror is the ghost of what you wrote. A little foggy fingerprint where the words are still afloat. You wrote, I love you with your finger in the steam from the hot shower. The smudge on the bathroom mirror, and the tower of power. The bass holds a note like a held-in breath. The guitar swells like a little death. The upright plays a chord that sounds like steamy, and the brush drum taps a little dreamy. I wipe the mirror clean, but the smudge remains. The crackle on the record is the broken chains. Oh, the smudge on the bathroom mirror is a scar from the steam. A ghost of three small words that are caught in the in-between. The heat has faded, the glass is cold, but the oil from your skin. The smudge on the bathroom mirror, and I'll begin again. So let the fingerprint stay on the glass where the light can catch the smudge on the bathroom mirror, and I lift the latch. The archtop strums a chord that sounds like steam off. The bass slides low to the dream off. I trace the smudge with my fingertip, the smudge on the bathroom mirror, on the goodnight slip. The needle lifts, the mirror is clear, but the smudge is there when the light is near. The tilt in the bookshelf started the day you took your book, the one with the blue cover and the little crooked hook. You pulled it from the middle shelf and never put it back. The tilt in the bookshelf and the off the track. The bass walks low like a leaning tower, the guitar swells like a sour hour, the upright plays a chord that sounds like lopsided, and the brush drum taps a little misguided. I push the books from the other side to straighten it. The crackle on the record is the broken bit. Oh, the tilt in the bookshelf is a metaphor for us, a little lean to the left that has gathered all the dust. The weight of all the other books can't hold it in its place. The tilt in the bookshelf in the losing race. So let the shelf stay crooked and the volumes lean and slide. The tilt in the bookshelf and the could have tried. The arch top strums a chord that sounds like level it. The bass slides low to the devil it. I put a shim under the leg to make it straight. The tilt in the bookshelf and the hand of fate. The needle lifts, the shelf is true, but the tilt is there.